Good afternoon. My name is Kyle Neely, and I'm giving my project pitch for Geog778. My project is focused on improving and streamlining the current process for capturing and disseminating flight statistics for the Forest Health Protection Group in the Forest Service. This has been a request that has been made by the Aerial Safety Program Manager, which currently oversees the process and in conjunction with the Unit Aviation Officers, or UAOs, will be the primary users. Currently, the process requires that UAOs from each region report their flight hours to the Aerial Safety Program Manager. The Program Manager then updates various spreadsheets maintained locally on his computer and creates graphs and charts based on the data. These outputs are then used in reports and presentations for directors and events like the annual Aerial Survey Working Group meeting. Taking a look at these, you can see that some of the spreadsheets are quite messy, hard to read, and even harder to update. It would be near impossible for someone else to come behind the program manager and update the spreadsheets. As you can see, there are notes scrolled on the side, and overall it is just kind of a mess. For the purposes of developing the project in phases, and for the sake of time limitations, this project will focus on aerial survey data provided by the UAOs. The other main categories of photo remote sensing, aerial application, and other agency-wide comparisons will be added on later, or if time permits in this project. This is an example of some of the graphic outputs that are currently being created from the data. Here we have the 2018 aerial application missions, looking at FHP flight hours by mission, state flight hours, kind of comparing the two. We have the aerial application production rates. That's looking at acres over hours, and then this is accident rates. So these are some of the examples of graphic outputs that are used in presentations. And let's see. Now let's take a look at some of the wireframes for planned interfaces. So we'll start with the form. So to alleviate some of the workload for the project manager, there'll be a form for the UAOs to be able to directly input data for their region. It is important for the form to be clean, easily readable, and simple. The form will take their inputs and update a geodatabase, which will in turn drive the outputs. This is a wireframe of the main chart and graph page. Here, users will be able to see various flight statistics cut in various ways that are relevant to their work. Some examples of planned charts are survey hours by operator, looking at FHP, versus cooperator versus partner, average survey production rates, aircraft type breakdown, looking at fixed wing versus rotor, helicopter or drone, looking at a total hours versus DMSM hours, and AFF hours, which is automated flight following. If time permits, we would like to be able to add some comparison to those agency-wide statistics I alluded to earlier. And that will have to be maintained in a separate table in the database and not directly updated by the UAOs, but by the Aerial Safety Program Manager directly. But some examples of agency-wide comparisons are looking at accident rates, U.S. Forest Service versus FHP, and then kind of total hours, FHP versus Forest Service, et cetera. And so finally, we have the interactive map. This is an interactive tool which will provide another way of viewing the data spatially. The statistics are going to be spatialized by region from the input form and show some of the same statistics seen in the charts, but through choropleth maps. We think this project overall will be an engaging and much more user-friendly way for interested parties to look at aviation statistics in forest health protection, and hopefully it will be a useful tool for years to come.